Fake HOA cops accused a teen of vandalism. He was painting a tribute to his fallen father. What would you do if someone tried to erase your last connection to a loved one? In the quiet town of Willow Creek, 16-year-old Ethan Harper stood before a brick wall in the community park, a paintbrush trembling in his hand. The air smelled of fresh paint and summer grass, but the peace was shattered by the screech of Karen Mitchell's voice. "You're defacing public property," she bellowed, her HOA badge glinting like a self-awarded medal. As president of the Willow Creek Homeowners Association, Karen had declared herself the unofficial sheriff of aesthetics, and Ethan's murala half-finished portrait of his late father, a firefighter who died saving a family from a blaze, was her latest target. To her, it was vandalism. To Ethan, it was a lifeline. Ethan's father, Tom Harper, had been the heart of Willow Creek. His laughter once echoed through the park where kids played and neighbors gathered. When he died 2 years ago, the town mourned, but Ethan carried the weight heaviest. The mural was his idea tribute to Tom, approved by the town council after months of Ethan's quiet persistence. He'd spent weeks sketching, planning, and saving for supplies, pouring his grief into every stroke. The portrait was emerging beautifully. Tom's kind eyes, his firefighter helmet tilted just so, and a faint smile that felt alive. But Karen, with her clipboard and her rules, saw only an eyesore. "This wall is for approved art only," she'd snapped at the council meeting, ignoring their vote. Now, she stood before Ethan, flanked by 2 HOA members she called her enforcement team, their walkie-talkies crackling with self-important static. Karen's accusations hit Ethan like a punch. "You're a delinquent," she spat, pointing at the mural. "This graffiti is a disgrace." Ethan tried to explain, his voice steady but cracking, that the mural was legal, a tribute, not vandalism. But Karen wasn't listening. She'd already called the local news, spinning a tale of a rebellious teen defacing the park. By noon, a small crowd had gathered, phones recording, whispers spreading. Ethan felt his chest tighten. He wasn't just fighting for the mural. He was fighting for his father's memory. Then came the twist. Mrs. Delaney, the town's elderly librarian, pushed through the crowd. She'd known Tom since he was a boy, and her sharp eyes held a fire Karen hadn't anticipated. "You've got no right, Karen," she said, her voice low but piercing. She held up a crumpled piece of paper. The council signed approval for Ethan's mural, which Karen had conveniently lost in her campaign against it. The crowd murmured, phones now aimed at Karen, who faltered but doubled down. "That's irrelevant," she snapped. "This wall is under HOA jurisdiction." But Mrs. Delaney wasn't done. She revealed Karen had been falsifying HOA records, exaggerating her authority to bully residents into compliance. The enforcement team shifted uncomfortably, their walkie-talkies silent. The confrontation escalated as Ethan refused to back down. Karen, red-faced and emboldened by her fleeting spotlight, grabbed a can of black paint from a nearby bench left over from a park maintenance project and a roller. "If you won't stop, I will," she shouted, marching to the mural. The crowd gasped as she smeared black paint over Tom's face, each stroke a deliberate wound. Ethan lunged forward, but Mrs. Delaney held him back, whispering, "Let her dig her own grave." Karen's actions weren't just vandalism. They were a public desecration of a hero's memory. The crowd's murmurs turned to shouts. A local reporter, sensing a bigger story, began live-streaming, capturing Karen's rage against Ethan's quiet resolve. Karen's downfall came swiftly. The reporter's footage went viral, and Willow Creek's residents flooded social media with outrage. Justice for Ethan trended locally, with photos of the mural before and after Karen's attack. The truth unraveled. Karen's HOA cops had no legal authority. She'd fabricated rules to control the neighborhood. The council, embarrassed by their oversight, issued a public apology and revoked Karen's HOA presidency. Her enforcement team quit, and the town demanded she pay for the mural's restoration. Karen, once the self-proclaimed queen of Willow Creek, became a pariah. At a town hall meeting, she tried to justify herself, claiming she was protecting property values. But the room fell silent. A single voice Ethan spoke through. "You tried to erase my dad." he said, his voice steady now. But you can't erase what he meant to us. The mural was restored, better than before. Volunteers, including kids who'd once played catch with Tom, joined Ethan to finish it. The portrait now included a small plaque, in memory of Tom Harper, our hero. Ethan, once a quiet kid, found his voice, speaking at schools about grief, art, and standing up to bullies. The park became a gathering place again, not just for play but for healing. Karen, meanwhile, moved away, her name a cautionary tale whispered at town meetings. What Ethan's story teaches us is that truth and heart can outshine even the loudest lies. One boy's love for his father turned a wall into a monument, and one woman's spite turned her into a lesson. What do you think? Can one person's courage really change a community? Or was Karen's defeat just a fluke? Share your thoughts below.